So out of all the challenges that we have done, doing the revisiting the Amy Warden Soap Challenge thing, I found some that I absolutely hated. And I mean, really, throughout most of like February, the Soap Apprentice and I both were like, it's not, no. And we wanted to just get back to doing our own thing. This particular challenge is one of the few that I thoroughly enjoy and I would most definitely do again and probably even put in my line. And that's weird because it involves a column, but not a pull-through tool. And I'm going to tell you all about the pour and why I found it so enjoyable in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 340 of 365 days of soap. And today we are tackling the Amy Warden Soap Challenge for the Lollipop Swirl. Now, again, in a column, and you know me, in columns, I have a very interesting love-hate relationship with columns. That's not actually true. I have a hate-hate relationship with pull-throughs. And as columns, as a general rule, I actually quite enjoy pouring into them. So that's what we are doing today. Lollipop technique, it's actually very fun, and it requires effectively a wall pour in different points around the column to create like a lollipop swirl. So like a lollipop. Yes. And the scent that we are working with today is from Maple Street. It is Sage and Citrus, which I think is a dupe, and it is delightful. I mean, I don't know what it's a dupe of, so I don't know if it's like a dead on. But it's a delightful blend. The Sage and Citrus is absolutely stunning. I loved working with it. I loved smelling it. And I am now going to show you the thing that I made with it. So let's go check out my Lollipop Swirl skills. So the entire time, okay, Sage and Citrus, yes. Vanillin, 2%. So we're going to see whether or not this discolors, and I don't think it's gonna. So yes, we are continuing on with our Maple Street reviews and tests and all of the things, and you know, so far so good. It's actually been good scents so far. But so those are the colors that I'm using along with the Kaolin clay. So we're doing purple, blue, and white. And yeah, the entire time I poured this bar, I'm using that, which I actually got from the clay side because we do the pottery or whatever, to be my little spinny spin thing for my column. It all makes sense, you know, in that thing when I actually do the pour. But the entire time that I was pouring this bar, I'm going to get this story out because it's fun. That song Lollipop, the lollipop, lollipop, oh la, that was going through my head the entire time, and I was actually singing it audibly as well, and so the kids would do the little pop and then the doom. It was fun. I enjoyed myself is the point of that story, and I really did enjoy this pour just across the board. Now with a pour like this, the whole idea is you want to split your batter into kind of equal portions, I suppose ish. I mean, I split it into equal portions, and then you want to keep the batter reasonably fluid because it's kind of a long pour getting it into the column. And so you want to keep it fluid enough that you are going to be able to get through all of the different pour stages. And so I am just going to split it into 3 different portions while it is very, very thin, and then mix all the colors up in a long-nosed, you know, container, because I want to be able to control where I place it in the mold. We'll be doing a lot of wall pours on the column mold, which is, you know, fun. It's cool. Nothing's gonna go wrong either, because it's not a pull-through, and pull-throughs suck. But a lollipop swirl, that's fun. The idea is behind all of this, you're sort of moving the mold a little bit and changing where you pour every, you know, with every color. And it will create, you know, like a lollipop swirl, really. So that's what we're going to work with today. Now, this was actually a soap challenge that was done... God, when was it done? Was this December's soap challenge for the Amy Warden soap challenge? Is that right? I want to say it was December's. So we're like getting current with the challenges, which is crazy because she has years and years of back catalog. But I guess if you're doing a new challenge every frickin' day, you're going to catch up pretty quickly, even with years and years of back catalog. So, yes. And I'm really excited for this purple because I love purple. And you know me and how I have issues with purple. So, you know, we'll see if my purple survives. It's clay. Things always go gray. But I'm just bad at purple in general because, you know, George May has shown multiple times how purple is completely achievable even with the copious amounts of clay that we put in all of our batter. This particular oil blend for the batter, since we're talking about batter, is 70% liquid oils and 30% solid oils. So the solid oils are coconut and babassu in equal parts, and the 70% liquid oils are olive oil and canola oil, sitting at around 30% of the batch for those in totality. And no, I'm sorry, it's 40%. And then the rest is argan and apricot and grapeseed. And yes, and these are ready to be scented with this delightful sage and citrus. I actually really love this scent blend. I've yet to smell one yet with the Maple Street test that I have not wanted to actually just keep in my line so far. And so that's great. It's wildly different than Lone Star. They had decent smelling scents, but that sucked to soap with. These have amazing scents that I would actually consider buying again, even if the soaping experience was not fun. But so far, the soaping experience has been great for all of them. So that's good. And this would be, you know, definitely one that I would reorder for sure. But once we get the scent blend mixed in, it's going to slightly thicken up the batter a little bit, which is to be expected whenever you put the scent in for most things, really. And for most scents, actually, that's usually the case. But this is ready to get poured into the column that's going to be on a little Lazy Susan thing, and, you know, nothing will go wrong there. Definitely not going to drop a column or anything. Let's go see me not do that. Okay, and on to the pour. And again, we've got the Lazy Susan going on here, and we will put the mold directly on the Lazy Susan and do the little pour thing for sure. And so again, the idea is you want to keep it at the wall, and I'm counting to about 4 before I stop, and then I will twist the mold slightly, and about 1/4 of an inch from where I poured the first one, I am going to pour the next color. And that's not 1/4 of an inch at all. That's not even close. That's like 1/2 an inch, inch. It's a ways away is the point. That one's way away. That's not 1/4. Whatever. So I'm already messing this pour up from jump because I'm pretty sure that the directions specifically said to put your point about 1/4 of an inch. Oh, now I'm getting a little closer. That's cool. Let's see if I can manage to make it right throughout this entire thing. But anyway, the idea is as you're putting it in, as you're putting the colors in at different points, doing a wall pour, it will continue pushing the soap batter that's already in the mold into a cool lollipop, so it looks like a lollipop, right? If you put a stick in each of these, which actually you could do if you cut it soon enough, if you cut it early enough, get it out of the mold, cut it within, you know, a day, you could totally just jam a lollipop stick into that, and that would be an adorably cute packaging idea for sure. I'm not going to do that because that's like way more extra work. And I mean, you guys see me on the thing, like when I cut my bars, I'm also beveling them by hand while they're still soft, so I don't have to bevel later. Like, I don't like extra steps in the whole packaging and whatever thing. And for the most part, whenever my bars get to be sold naked, I love that even more, because that's even one less step. And I know that, oh look, I'm actually getting closer to where you're supposed to be pouring at this point. That's cool. Cool, cool, cool. So we will look at the bars at the bottom of this mold, at the bottom of the column versus the ones, you know, closer to the middle / top or whatever, and see if there's a difference between once I started pouring them where I was supposed to and, you know, the bottom. Now, you just saw that like jump cut there because my camera, I bumped my camera and it almost fell into the soap. So that was fun. That had to get cut out because it was chaotic. And it's a really good thing that I don't actually put my audio from the actual pour into this, because aside from singing the Lollipop song, as that happened, as the camera was falling, I was totally screaming all kinds of obscenities, and the soap play kidlets were like, "Mom, what's wrong?" And I'm like, you know, nothing. I swear all the time. Now we have interesting kind of a little bit of ricing going on there. So, see that? And that's interesting. So, but it's not terrible, right? Because we are, this mold is 2/3 of the way full. And so getting some ricing going on right now, no big deal. We're still going to be able to get everything into the mold is the assumption. I am just making the pours a little bit more forceful because we have that going on. So more forceful and more soap with each pass, just to get it in before it gets too terribly thick. And so, you know, it's anyone's guess as to whether or not that will work, or if I've messed up the pour entirely. So that will be another thing to check out. Remember, in the cut, we are looking at the bottom of the mold. We're going to look for the bottom bars of the mold, and as well as the top, where I started getting more heavy-handed with my pouring to see if there's any difference, or if the ones right in the middle of the bar are going to be, the batch are going to be the best Lollipop Swirl. And, you know, it's anyone's guess at this point as to, you know, which way that goes. I really have no idea. I'm just super proud of myself at this point that I haven't tipped the column off of the Lazy Susan, because that was legit what I was thinking of the entire time. Like when Amy Warden did it, she actually put her whole mold, her whole column, into a big bucket that was filled with rice, and then like put the bucket on a Lazy Susan, or just like turn the bucket. And I'm like, no, I've got a Lazy Susan for pottery. That totally works, right? It's a great idea. What could go wrong? Nothing, right? And it's actually shocking that nothing did go wrong with this. I was fully expecting it. And, you know, if it did, it would have been, you know, humorous. You would have laughed at me, because you guys apparently like, oh, do you see that? That's a thing. But it didn't happen. Anyway, this is going to get put in the oven for C-pop and gel, and we're going to get rid of that Lazy Susan because it's terrifying right now. And then we're going to cut into this and see, you know, what we're working with inside. And that will be, you know, fun and awesome. So let's go check that out. Okay, and day 2 onto the cut, and this bar is so shiny and pretty. I love it. It's so smooth and delightful, and yes, now that is the top of the bar, and you can tell because it's not as smooth as the bottom. So the bottom of the bar is on the left side of the mold, and the top of the bar is on the right. And yes, let's check it out. These will be the bottom cuts. Let's see what's going on. That is a perfectly lovely little Lollipop Swirl, isn't it? Like, that's completely fine with having poured them a little bit farther apart than, oh, it's cute. That's so cute. Than 1/4 of an inch. So, lovely. Keep that in mind. So that's good to know. No discoloration whatsoever with all of this. So if you know, were wondering if there is, if your stuff is going to discolor with 2% vanillin. This one hasn't, so that's good. And no signs of discoloration either. There's nothing to suggest that it's going to, which is awesome. Now, this is getting closer to the area where I started pouring closer together. And so, sort of interesting. We've got some cool crescent moon things going on here. That's actually, keep that in mind for a pour, because that would be interesting. And this is when I started properly, this is about when I started properly pouring it at every, quarter inch or whatever. So there's that too. I still like the bottom ones better though. What do you think? Like, I like the first ones that I pulled better than these ones so far. That one's cute. That one's very adorable. Soapically Kidlets came up at this point and said that it looks like something from Willy Wonka. So I'm like, well, that actually works because Willy Wonka and candy and lollipops and yes, right? And then the lollipop song that we were singing is, well, that's not the Munchkins, is it? That's not Wizard of Oz because they represent the Lollipop Guild. That's a different song entirely. So many songs about lollipops, apparently. And, oh yeah, and we got a Lil Wayne song, right? Lollipop, is that? Lots of lollipops. Now this is when I started pouring things thicker, and interestingly that becomes a really cool bar as well. I like those swirls quite a bit actually, so you can pour more heavy-handed in this and it still creates a very cool bar. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that you can really do wrong with this bar, like this pour. It's very beautiful. It's going to be all about the contrast of colors for this one, I think. Because all of these bars are really, really gorgeous. And that sage and citrus, oh, it is good. It is a really, really good scent blend. Again, one that I would consider putting in my line like permanently. And there are two different versions of the, top and the bottom with all of these. And again, I kind of like them all. But that's a big old win. That's day 340, the Lollipop Challenge. Yeah, and there you have it, the Lollipop Swirl. And I had so much fun with this technique. I found it very enjoyable. I found it just fun. And I mean, I almost lost it off of the Lazy Susan. I almost lost my camera into the hole. So that was, just business as usual for me because I'm a disaster every single moment of the day. But the pour itself, loved it. It was a lot of fun. I'll definitely do another one of these in the future just because I like the pour so much. Yes. If you are interested in this Lollipop Swirl soap, you can get it tomorrow after the Soap Prentice drops her Lollipop Swirl because, she's going to do hers too. As far as the scent blend goes, again, it's beautiful through Cure. I really did love this scent a lot and no real problems at all with this one. So good job, Maple Street. I appreciate that one. And yeah, if you are interested in seeing what Georgia May does for her Lollipop Swirl, subscribe to the channel. That would be excellent. For those of you who are subscribed to the channel, hey, thanks for being excellent. I appreciate you very much. I am out of here for today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.